video, I'm going to tell you like my thought processes, why I'm going to take this new approach on this new channel, and some of the things you can expect. As you've seen all morning, I've been working away my laptop, doing the plans for the rest of the year. So I'm a bit behind on time because it's the end of July, well, middle to end of July as we speak, and I'm doing Q3 and Q4 plans, just setting a few things up. I'm actually going to show you as well like what I do, because it's going to be part of my mission to not just tell you what I've done on this channel, but actually show you so you guys can come along on the journey. But first, I can go and collect my car today. Why run away when I go to pick you up? You want to say hello to YouTube? Say hello. Say hello. Yeah, alright. Anyways, I was saying that has been the longest. No, don't jump on my laptop. Chaos already. Go on then. For the third time, that has been the longest. No, don't chew that. Fuck. For the fourth time, that's the longest I've ever been without a car since I passed my test in 2018. Fuck, I'm getting old. And because of where I live as well, which I'm sure I'll show you over the next however many vlogs I do, hopefully for a long time. I literally live in the middle of nowhere. There's no like local town you can go and walk to. The local gym is in the next town. There's just nothing to do. There's a Tesco's and there's an industrial estate, and then there's the countryside, which is fine. But after 2 weeks, I get very cabin fever-esque, especially from working from home. So I live at home, I work from home, I chill at home, I eat at home. It's just everything that's within this room, the studio, or the kitchen. So I've really missed my freedom. So we're going to go on a drive at some point, probably today, just to get a bit of different scenery and talk you through what's going on, why I'm starting this YouTube, and all of that kind of stuff. But as promised, we're going to go inside my laptop. I'm going to show you how I plan things out. So one of my new favorite ways of doing it is actually through Freeform. I think this is just such an underrated app that you can use for productivity and planning stuff out. So this is for everything serotonin. So this isn't really like me, it's more for the business side of stuff. But you can see I can write like the mission statement in there, go month by month, what the kind of goals are. I'm doing this up until December, and then I've started inputting everything into Notion now with like a project planner. So you can see here I put like all of my ideas, and then I can kind of start planning things out. So this is for like the YouTube revamp, everything I need to do, sort of like a little to-do list, the reasonings and the purpose behind it. Because if you haven't got purpose, then why are you going to do it? Yeah, this is all new to me. So if you're watching this and you're like an experienced Notion user, please help me out. From there, everything actually goes into my personal favorite app, which is TickTick. And this is like all my management stuff, task management. So you can see had a terrible week last week, and I'm really far behind on a lot of my tasks. So now I've got my car back, what I need to crack on with is script writing for a bunch of long form videos that I've got to record over the next few days. So I might run you through as well how I design and write my scripts, but we'll have a good catch up and chat later on today. A rough idea and plan for the whole video, and then from there I'll run it through ChatGPT, and I have different ChatGPT bots set up. So this one's set up for this personal brand, and it knows my kind of tone of voice, and I've also edited a whole book on ChatGPT so it knows my language, so I can humanize it so it doesn't feel like AI's made it. and then I just go back and forth with ChatGPT until I get something I'm happy with. And then for more like long form tutorial stuff, I actually just prefer pointers and running with it a little bit more on the spot instead of direct scripts. So this is the beginner's course, which I'm going to start making today and tomorrow. And you can see it's just broken down into different parts and just pointers of me going, okay, this is what I start with, and I go into there, and then I go into there. It takes a lot more time to edit if you don't script properly, but for that type of content, it definitely just feels a lot more organic and natural. So it's now 1 o'clock, and then I'm going to go to the gym, and then we can catch up properly, like I said earlier, and go for a drive. Enough on my plate with trying to build Serotonin Studio. Do you mind? So let's talk about the whole reason why I am starting to vlog now, and I'm going to make it a primary mission to not only just vlog, but build something more personal and deeper than just Brendan James music and his education tutorials. Because I kind of had the realization the other day that the only thing that ever is constant is yourself. And what made me sort of think about this was, I look back on 5 years ago when I first started making music. If you told me 5 years ago that I would be doing music full time as a career, I would have never believed you. Even going back further than that, when I started DJing and someone said, oh, well, you'll DJ in front of hundreds of people one day, I would have never have believed you. But it happened. So if I sat here today and future self came and told me, hey, in 2 years' time, you're not going to do anything with music, you're going to be an author, I wouldn't believe me. And the reason for that is because you can't predict the future, right? The only thing that is constant is yourself. So if I built more stuff around me as a person and my personality and my identity and my hobbies and what I actually do, that then translates better to the potentiality of life happening. Because what happens if tomorrow I wake up and I go, no more music, I'm done? I'll be screwed. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no substance to what I've created so far other than music education tutorials. And that's not to take it lightly. Like I've helped hundreds of people now, and like it's been amazing. But I genuinely think building something more and deeper is the next step for me. I watch a lot of like personal brand content, and it super inspires me. And all it does is help me buy into their, products or services or whatever they do. Like I just care more about it. It doesn't hurt their businesses in any way. So why would it hurt mine? And it's just going to help deepen that connection with my audience. And as I just mentioned, like I watch a lot of these kind of personal brand stuff and spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I always have. And I've always said like, oh, I'd love to do it. I'd love to try vlogs. And some of you may know that I have tried in the past, but I've never actually stuck to it. And I think, funny enough, my friend kind of triggered this thought because he was taking a sort of a bit of a jab at me because he was wanting me to go to Ibiza with a bunch of my other friends, which thankfully I didn't because his car repair was nearly 800 quid. But he was saying, like, won't you regret it if you was on your deathbed? Because I haven't taken a holiday as such, quotation marks, because I don't feel like I actually like that holidays that much anyways. But his point was, I haven't taken a holiday since we went to Ibiza last, which was 2019, so pre-COVID. I've just been, I was about to say grinding then and be very stereotypical, but I have been in some sort of sense. because I've either been at university or I was working 2 part-time jobs or building the businesses or, you know, so much going on, learning Ableton. Like, I have been busy and I haven't taken a holiday. But his dig was, would I regret it? And I wouldn't. But something I would regret and was regretting is not documenting my life and my journey so far. Because even in the past 6 months, I've done some really cool things, which I only have as a memory. But imagine if I had like a full video to look back on of me running my first marathon, running my second marathon, launching my first, you know, proper business, quitting work. Like, I always wish I was vlogging back then. Like, imagine how cool that would be to look back on for myself. And not only that, but to help inspire you. Do you know what I mean? If there's not many people within the music industry doing this kind of stuff, and that sounds a bit egotistical, but in some kind of way it's true, because everyone's focused on being a DJ and it's not necessarily like my focus. And I just think, well, maybe I could help. Maybe there's another Brendan out there somewhere who isn't too sure about being a DJ but wants a career in music but doesn't know how to do it and doesn't have anyone to like look up to or help push them through those kind of unwearing times. And that could be me. I think like the music industry could do with more people like this, and maybe I'm not doing enough to help people show that there's more to building artists' career than just spinning animations of your latest tracks and reels from your DJ gigs. And that's not me dissing that kind of stuff. I just think the music industry would benefit so much from some fresh takes. But this is a 7-minute clip now, which is a long ass clip. So I think I'm just going to type up a few book notes, which I need to get around to, double check those scripts that I wrote earlier, and just enjoy being out of the house. So, as you've seen, I've been pretty much working all day today, and probably up until I go to bed. I've been working on the new landing page for Serotonin Studio, which I'll show you all tomorrow. So I'll show you the progression of how it's all coming along. But it's made me think and realise that I'm leaving a lot on the table. And I'm doing a lot of things wrong. And I know Serotonin Studio is good at its current point, but I don't want it to be good. I want it to be great. I want it to be one of the best platforms out there for music education. And I know I'm leaving a lot on the table. So I've come up with this idea, which I'll sit on overnight. But sometimes, and I'm sure all creative people can relate to this, you just have this feeling and you're just like, that's it. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. That's the right move. And that's the feeling I've got with this. So I think I'm going to actually close the site momentarily for the next 2 to 3 months and just make it an absolute machine, because I've learned so much over the past few months since it being live. The content, I'm learning so much about communities and what I'm doing wrong with that, and how I can develop everything there. Automation, like emails, like at the moment I'm sending emails to like members and sort of chasing things up, and they're just failing at it, to be honest. So I just think with 2 to 3 months, it's all it is. It's practically August, and I could launch on Black Friday, which, believe it or not, was actually when I originally wanted to launch Serotonin Studio. It was meant to come out Black Friday of last year. So all the things kind of align, and I'm like, this is it. There's so many things I could do in that time to just make it incredible and so much better.
I'm giving hits to niggas on some don't even mention it. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, give me back whenever. Or don't, you know. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah. Look, you young boys take some of that money and set it aside. Not having enough to pay your taxes is a federal crime. You niggas obsessed with me and it's not on no hetero vibe.
So welcome to Wednesday. It is currently 1 o'clock, and I've been taking it pretty slow this morning, to be honest. Past few nights I've only gotten about 6 hours of sleep, and unfortunately I'm not one of those freaks who can operate on 5 to 6 hours of sleep. I need 8 to 10 hours minimum. So I was feeling a bit slow, and I thought, you know what, as long as I get some tasks done today, then that's all that matters, and I can take it a bit at a slower pace. So I can fill you in exactly where we left off yesterday with what I've been doing on my new landing page. So it's obviously all still in the works at the minute, and I've only done the copywriting and the flow of the site, but this is how it's going to look. So you land on there with a big hero section with obviously a link to go to the sign up page, then go straight into like a VSL kind of thing, just very casual. Then it flows into a really good testimony that I've got from Elroy. Another section sort of hitting on the pain points, then more about me and why I started it, what you actually get in the site, some of the videos on offer, some more trust with the testimonies. This was really cool to do actually, because I've never done this before, but to see some of the signings that members and clients of mine have actually got onto is just insane, because that's pretty much every single big label within the minimal deep tech scene of this kind of like darker sound that I'm pushing and building within Serotonin Studio. And this was another really cool thing that I enjoyed doing, which was like a testimonial wall. So I wish I've done this throughout like my whole career as a music coach, but this has only just been the past 3 months since I've started collecting all of these screenshots of just how I've helped people, how they've progressed. And yeah, it's just amazing to see. I think I had like 63 screenshots in total, and I definitely couldn't get them all on this page. So you can see that's taken a lot of work just to do that. That was about 12-hour day yesterday on it, and around about 3 hours so far today. So that's 15 hours in total, and all I've done is the layout and what's known as the copywriting of the website. So I've sent that off to Chris Pletzenberg, who is full-time music maker. If you guys haven't checked him out, you need to check him out. He's helped me massively with the back end and opening my mind to how to run Serotonin Studio and how to market it. And I think without him, I wouldn't be in this position where I am now, to where I've learned so much and I can take this period of time off from Serotonin Studio to really revamp it and make it something special. I will put his page in the link below, because it's helped me loads. Anyways, for the rest of the day, because it is now 1 o'clock, I'm going to get to the gym, do some cardio, because I've done strength for past 2 days, and then I've got calls all evening, so from about 4 till 8 p.m. or something. So I'll catch up with you. Well, it'll probably be tomorrow, to be honest. You might see a few clips, but I'm not at the confidence level yet of taking this massive camera into the gym. Well, I should be, because I film every now and again in the gym, but I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. Even someone who's been making content and YouTube videos for years still has that kind of anxiety of getting a camera out in public.
They're communicating towards us, and when
things, and yes, trust me.
Like, if we're doing this, well then, like, this has to be, like, you show up and you try to give these people the best shit that they've heard.
Mid-range, so it's...
Yeah, you were saying claps.
Yeah, claps I'm always terrible for. Vocals as well. I always have like a soft spot as well for wit. So just finished up all my calls, so it's about 8 o'clock now. 2 really good calls, one with Joshua, who I haven't seen in a long time, which is good to see how he's been progressing. One with my regular, so I've just got to update his freeform document, which is how I've been keeping track of his progress and what we do every single lesson, which seems to be working really well, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to grab a tea, I'm going to get the footage off of you into here, because that's what I've been doing every single evening now, is just editing that whole day's footage into the vlog. And I mean, well, that's the plan moving forward. But first, I need to go make a cup of tea.
You think that I'm letting it slide. Next thing you know, we tiptoeing past enemy lines. Diss me so long ago, we making your memories fly. Conspiracy theories start floating around like the Kennedy guy. I'll probably hold a grudge against you guys till I'm 75. Hey, niggas lying for a living, I couldn't relate. We all gotta lay in the bed we make, but that couldn't be Drake. You forced a lot of fake love on real ones stood in your...
So, which is every camera, just get the Rode mic, chop it on your...
It doesn't have to be perfect.
I know that the next 6 months are going to be really challenging. So it's now Friday and it's just gone 10:15. You would have seen yesterday I was just doing a bit of work and I realised that a lot of the footage that I've been filming for this vlog had a lot of noise in the background and it just wasn't very clear. And I think that was just due to me not knowing how to set up the camera. So I spent most of the morning watching some videos, learning how to use it, learning how to set up correctly, figuring out if it was me or if it's maybe something I need to reinvest in and get a new camera, and then just planning out a few other things along with getting to the gym. But I think it's a really important point to talk about is once you have a problem, try and solve it immediately. And if you can learn to do that, everything just becomes so much easier, because the only thing between you and your goals is just a lack of skills. Like, that's it. Like, if you really want to achieve your goals, you will. Like, discipline, motivation, all of that, it doesn't really matter, because if you want it, you will do it. But the problem is that gap in between where you are and your destination, and it's really just a game of acquiring skills and fixing problems. And if you have a problem, it's probably because that skill hasn't been developed. So you just need to work on that skill. And I think that's just such a really important thing to learn and develop. You know, as soon as I figured out, okay, this content, this film's looking a bit grainy, like I'm not getting the quality that I want. So I better, I'm saying that, and now I'm paranoid that it's not in focus. Okay, it's in focus, so I don't need to worry. But my point being is, you have a problem, just try and solve it as quickly as possible. And throughout this vlog, I've kind of been talking about some of the issues that I've been having with starting Serotonin Studio and operating Serotonin Studio. And yes, there is bigger problems sort of going on. And those bigger problems are bigger skills, which take more time to acquire. So they're not just a couple YouTube videos and that problem is solved. They take a lot more time than that. But the point being is, I've let those issues and problems compound, and now I'm in the position where I'm at, where I've gone, fuck, like I've got so many things to sort and so many things to fix. And although I think that's a good thing, because it gives you that reflection and really gives you that kick up the ass to be like, okay, I need to take this to the next level, and I need to do this now, and I need to do that. But these little minor things, like I was talking about, like the camera, or a thing I was trying to sort today was like just setting up my iPad correctly, so it's like nice and useful, like for productivity. Same with my iPhone. Like, it only took 10-15 minutes to do those jobs, and the net benefit I will get from solving those problems and acquiring those skills on how to set up this timer and how to set up that app timer and how to design a nice aesthetic which helps boost my productivity. All of these things just then compound, which create a better result for you. And ultimately, that's what we want. We just want a better result, we want to achieve our goals, and we want to get there quicker. And that is just a gap between where you are, your destination, and the skills in between. But it's currently now 10:30, like I was saying earlier. So seeing as I've got a spare hour and a half now, I'm just going to do like a few little tasks, a few little admin tasks, because it's really annoying, like getting stuck into like some deep work and then having to hop on a bunch of meetings because your mind's like elsewhere. It's thinking about those tasks you're doing in your deep work, and you're not really there and you're not very present for those lessons, which is just unfair on, you know, my clients, and it's unfair on me as well because it's unfair on that deep work I was doing before. So that's the plan for today. So you're probably going to be perched up there all day. So it's currently now Saturday and it's just gone 1 o'clock, and you would have seen from the footage yesterday was just back-to-back calls for pretty much 7 hours, to be honest. It was quite a long time, and I haven't done days like that in quite a while, but honestly they're like some of my favorite days. And I had a few tasks after those calls to finish up. One was polishing up a track for one of my friends, Sean, or Zing, getting his track ready to play out tomorrow, which was sick, and working on Joseph's artist blueprint program, which was really good. He's one of the first sort of attendees to that program who's a bit more advanced. So I've got a few beginner producers on that program, but he's a bit more experienced and I've worked with him quite a few times in the past. So I'm really looking forward to designing up his program and seeing how much he progresses. Quick tip for those that kind of want to think about tutoring or do any kind of like service-led business. And there's something I realized that I was doing yesterday when I had so many back-to-back calls with different people. A really good thing to do is you go to the opposite of what the other person is like. So what I mean by that is if you've got someone who's a bit more quiet and chilled and laid back, it's a bit better to come on to those calls like, hey, how you doing? Like in a bit more of an excited manner. Whereas if someone's on the opposite end of that spectrum who is maybe a bit more excitable and talkable, you take that quieter role and, you know, let them sort of do the talking, because that's what you really are. You're just, you know, serving other people and obviously educating them, but just making it a nice space for them to be in. That's one of the things I learned within my coaching degree when I did strength and conditioning in university. It was all about just different sort of teaching styles and different athletes, and I kind of copied that mentality across to my music tutoring. And I think it works. Well, I'd like to think so with the amount of people I've tutored now and helped. So yeah, I'd like to think it works. But anyways, you would have seen me this morning working in my room. So on Saturdays, I make sure I do all of my life admin tasks. So I clean my room, I clean the studio, I go through and just tidy up my MacBook, like desktop internals, make sure it's running as smooth as possible. I'll do my finance trackers, which took me a bit more time, as you would have seen at the beginning of the vlog. I set up new Notion templates for that. So that was a bit time consuming, but once I got the hang of it, it was so much easier and so much more detailed compared to what I was previously doing. And then you saw me come in here, hop on a call for one of my 30-minute feedback sessions with Serotonin members. So that's part of the membership, is people get 30-minute calls with me once a month, and I try and get them all in on a Saturday. So I've got another 2 or 3 just today, but thankfully, I've got a couple hours off now, so I need to get to the shops, quickly do a bit of meal prep as well, and get that all sorted for the week ahead. I'd like to get this video edited, so I'm not really going to be moving much other than probably this room. And as you've guessed, if you've made it this far, this is just kind of what my life actually looks like. Working, sleep, bit of gym, and more work. Honestly, it's great, and I absolutely love it. And it's so great when you can do something that you're passionate about, and most of the stuff never feels too much like work. And I know it's all very cliche, but it's very true. It's not to say that it's easy by any means, but a lot of people enjoy doing difficult things and will stick at those difficult things, but you just have to have that passion and enjoyment there. And thankfully I do for this. But I'm going to wrap up this vlog here. If you've made it this far, honestly, I majorly appreciate you. This is a long first vlog, but I really want to bring you guys along for a ride and show you what it's like to monetize your passion or build a business in the music industry, and what it's like behind the scenes of an up-and-coming artist. Just bring you along for the journey for everything I'm doing, and hopefully I can share some of the knowledge that I've learned in this period of time, and I can show you the good things that I'm doing and also the mistakes I'm making, and hopefully all of that will help inspire you to chase your dreams, achieve your goals, and just do everything you want to do, because it is genuinely possible. You've just got to put in the work. And as you've seen, that's all I do pretty much day in, day out. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Again, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.